It's 11 p.m. Your phone buzzes. You already know who it is before you look. Didi, I know it's late, but I really need your help. I need to talk. And I messed up again. Can you help me? Now, if you are an Indian woman, you know this call. You have been getting it since you were old enough to be considered responsible. The family problem solver. The one everyone turns to when life gets messy. Raise your hand if you've ever been called the mature one in your family. The one who has it all together. The one who everyone expects to drop everything and fix their problems. Now keep your hand up if you've ever felt completely exhausted after helping someone, only to watch them make the exact same mistake again while posting happy pictures on Instagram like nothing happened. Today I'm going to tell you something that goes against everything that we have been taught about being a good Indian daughter, sister, friend, or brother. But it might save your sanity and actually help the people you love. Sometimes the most loving thing that you can do is let people face their own consequences. And I'm going to prove it to you with a story about my cousin that changed everything I thought I knew about family duty and what it really means to help someone. Now let me tell you about Priya. She's my cousin. Now growing up, she was the golden child. Beautiful, charming, she could convince anyone of anything. While I was the studious one, Priya was the one everybody adored at family functions. But Priya had a problem with money and responsibility and consequences. It started in college. She would call me crying. Her hostel fees were not paid. She spent the monthly allowance on clothes and movies, and could I please help? Just this once, Didi. I'll be more careful next time. And you know how it is in our families. When family asks for help, especially a younger cousin or sibling, you help. It's not even a question. Priya's father had told me to look after Priya since I was the older one. So I'd send the money from my part-time job earnings, money I was saving for my own expenses, my books, my future. After college, it got worse. Priya got a job at call center, good salary for a fresher, but somehow she was always broke, always had emergencies. Her bike broke down, she needed money for a friend's wedding, her phone got stolen, her laptop crashed. The requests got bigger. Didi, I found this amazing business opportunity. My friend's sister started this online boutique and she's making lakhs. I just need 50,000 to buy inventory and I'll pay you back double in 6 months. 50,000 rupees, half my salary at that time. But Priya was so convincing. She showed me some spreadsheets, success stories from other online sellers. She even had a business plan. But she played all the right cards. You're the only one who believed in me. Everyone else thinks I'm irresponsible, but you know I'm capable of more. So I gave her the money, my entire emergency fund. 2 months later, the business failed. But it wasn't her fault. The supplier cheated her. The market was bad. She chose the wrong products. And Priya? Priya went to Goa with her boyfriend the next month. Posted beautiful pictures at the 5-star beach resorts, expensive restaurants, adventure sports. When I asked her about the business money, she said, Didi, I was so stressed about the failure. I needed this trip to clear my head and to think about what to do next. Don't worry, I'll figure out how to pay you back. That's when it hit me. I wasn't helping Priya. I was enabling her, and worse, I was destroying my own financial stability in the process. You want to know what rock bottom looks like for an Indian woman who cannot say no to family? It's sitting in your room after a family function where Priya's father casually mentions you how helpful you are to Priya, while you know you cannot afford to buy new clothes for Diwali because you've given away all your savings. It's your mother asking why you haven't started your own family yet, while you're too financially stressed from supporting everyone else to even think about your own future. It's realizing that trying to be the good daughter who always helps the family, who've always been the family ATM. And everyone just expects it now. But here's the most twisted part. I felt guilty for feeling resentful. How could I be angry at family for needing help? Wasn't this what being a good Indian woman, a sister, a daughter meant? Supporting your family no matter what? And the cultural pressure made it worse. Every auntie would praise me. Look how responsible she is, always helping everyone. My parents were so proud of how I took care of the family. I started dreading family WhatsApp because I knew someone would mention needing help and all the eyes would turn to me. I would avoid calls from certain relatives. Then I would feel terrible and overcompensate by saying yes to something even bigger. The worst part, Priya never learned to manage money because she never had to. Every time she was about to face real consequences, late fees, borrowed money from friends, having to explain to her parents, I would swoop in and rescue her. I thought I was being a loving sister. I was actually being the worst possible influence on her life. Because every time I saved her from her mistakes, I robbed her of the chance to learn from them. Every time I cushioned her fall, I prevented her from developing the skills she needed to not fall again. Now, this is where Bhagavad Gita's wisdom about dhan, charity, and giving completely changed my perspective. It talks about 3 types of help, and when I understood this, everything clicked. First is the Sattvic help, the pure kind. This is the help given at the right time in the right way to someone who genuinely needs it without expecting anything back. It empowers the receiver and feels clean to the giver. Let me give you a perfect example from last year. My neighbor, Mrs. Sharma, a widow who lives alone, her son sends her money from Dubai, but sometimes it's delayed. During the pandemic, she got sick and could not go out to buy groceries or medicines. Mrs. Sharma had never asked anyone for help. She is very self-reliant. But I could see she was struggling. So I offered to get her groceries and medicines and refused to take money for it. Not because I wanted praise, but because she genuinely needed help and could not manage to get it herself. She was hesitant to accept, but I explained that my own grandmother had taught me that when we are able to help those who cannot help themselves, it's our dharma. 2 weeks later, when she was better, she brought me homemade pickles and blessed me with such genuine gratitude. A month later, I saw her helping another elderly neighbor who was sick. That's Sattvic help. It solved a real problem, empowered her to accept help gracefully, did not create dependency, and inspired her to help others. Then is Rajasic help, which is the ego-driven kind. This is the help you give because it makes you feel good, because you want recognition, or to avoid guilt, or because being helpful has become a part of your identity. I was absolutely guilty of this with Priya. Part of me loved being the responsible child who could solve everyone's problem. When relatives would say, "Priya is so lucky to have you," it fed something in me. At family functions, when Priya would publicly thank me for always being there, when uncles and aunties would praise me for being such a good influence, it made me feel special, important, and needed. But here's the dangerous part about Rajasic help. It becomes addictive. You start unconsciously creating situations where people need you. You give just enough to keep people dependent, not enough to actually solve their problems. I realized I was keeping Priya just stable enough that she would not completely crash, but never stable enough to be truly independent. Because if Priya got her life together, she would not need me anymore. And some part of me could not handle that. If you've ever felt a little disappointed when a family member solved their problems without your help, you know exactly what I mean. The third one is Tamasic help, the destructive kind. This is the most dangerous type of help. Help that actually harms a person you're trying to help. It enables bad behavior, keeps people stuck in destructive patterns, and prevents growth. Every rupee I gave Priya was Tamasic help. Not because I meant harm, but because the result was that Priya never learned financial stability. Think about it. If every time you overspent, I transferred money to your account, would you learn to budget? If every time your business idea failed, the family covered your losses, would you learn to research properly or save money first? My help was keeping Priya in permanent financial childhood. At 28 years old, she had money management skills of a teenager because everyone kept treating her like the one. But Tamasic help does not hurt the receiver, it destroys the giver. It creates resentment, exhaustion, and this twisted family dynamic where you are simultaneously indispensable and completely taken for granted. The moment everything changed was when Priya called me with her biggest request yet. She wanted me to co sign a loan for her to buy a car. Not just a car, a Honda City. 2 lakh rupees down payment required. Didi, I need a car for my new job. It will help me earn more money, and since you have a good credit score and a stable job, the bank will approve the loan. I'll pay all the EMIs, I promise. Now 2 lakh rupees, more than my annual savings. And for a moment, I almost said yes, because Priya sounded so confident and she'd been working already for 6 months. And maybe this time really was different. But then I remembered Mrs. Sharma, how good it felt to help someone who genuinely needed it versus how exhausted I always felt after helping Priya. So I said something I'd never say to family before. Priya, I love you like a sister, but I cannot co-sign this loan. And I've realized that giving you money all these years has not helped you become more responsible. It's actually held you back from learning to manage money on your own. Oh, the dharma followed. First came the tears. How could I be so heartless? Then the emotional manipulation. I was the only family member who understood her dreams. Then the guilt trips. She had helped me with my problems too, which was completely untrue, but she said it anyway. Then came the family pressure. Priya's father called me, upset that I was being mean to Priya. Other relatives started messaging saying I was changing and becoming selfish, and I felt terrible. I questioned myself for weeks. Maybe I was being too harsh. Maybe I should reconsider. But then something interesting happened. Without me as a financial safety net, Priya had to figure things out. She could not buy the Honda City, so she bought a second-hand Activa instead. Much more practical for her actual needs and budget. She had to learn to budget because there was no backup plan. She started cooking at home instead of ordering food every day. She moved to a smaller flat to save on rent. And slowly, over the next year, Priya started actually growing up. She built up her own emergency fund. She started researching before making big purchases. She even started a small side business, but this time with her own saved money and proper planning. Most importantly, our relationship improved. Instead of me being her financial rescuer, I became her actual sister again. We could spend time together without money being the part of every conversation. Now let me give you a practical advice for navigating this Indian family dynamics because I know it's not simple. We've been taught that good daughters, sister, wives always say yes to family. That helping family is our duty. That saying no makes us selfish. But ask yourself, is your help actually solving problems or just postponing them? Are you helping or enabling? What are you sacrificing of your own life and future? Is this person learning and growing from your help? I started tracking every time I helped family members, what they asked for, what I gave, whether it actually improved the situation. The patterns were shocking. Set boundaries without being disrespectful. This is the hardest part in Indian families because boundaries can be seen disrespectful. But there are always ways to do this with love. Instead of, fine, I'll give you money again. Try, I care about you, but I've noticed that when I give you money, it does not help you learn to manage finances. Let me help you create a budget instead. Now, instead of saying, sure, I'll fix your problem, try this. This sounds challenging. What do you think your options are? I believe you're capable of handling this. Instead of saying, I'll always be there to help you no matter what, try, I love you and I want to support you in becoming more independent. How can I help you build skills instead of just solving your problems? Handle family pressures. When you start setting boundaries, family members will react. They'll call you selfish. They'll say you're changing, compare you to other helpful relatives. Here's what worked for me. To parents, you can say, I want to help in ways that actually help. Giving money has not made Priya more responsible. To other relatives, you can say, I'm supporting her in learning to be independent. Isn't that better for her future? To the person yourself, I believe you're capable of more than you think you are. Offer alternative help. When Priya asked for money, I started offering other support. I can't give you money, but I can teach you how to budget. I can't pay for your course, but I can help you research scholarships. I can't lend you money for business, but I can help you create a proper business plan. Most of the time, they did not want those alternatives. And that told me everything. They wanted quick fixes, not actual solutions. Protect your own future. This is crucial for Indian women because we are often expected to sacrifice our own financial security for family. I started putting my own financial goals first. Emergency fund for myself before lending to others. Investment in my education and career, saving for my own future before funding others' dreams. And you know what? Taking care of myself first made me a better help to others because I was helping from abundance, not from desperation or guilt. Now here's the deepest truth I learned. In Indian culture, we are taught that sacrificing for family is love. But there's a difference between sacrifice and self-destruction. Real love does not keep people weak. Real love believes in people's ability to grow and become stronger. When I kept rescuing Priya, I was essentially telling her, I don't think you're capable of handling this on your own. This is not love. That's treating someone like a child forever. The Bhagavad Gita itself teaches about conscious action. Krishna did not tell Arjun to avoid his responsibilities. He told him to act with awareness without attachment to the results. That's what conscious help looks like. You help with full awareness of whether it's actually helping. You give without being attached to being thanked or needed. Now last year, Priya told me something that validated everything. She said, Didi, I was angry when you stopped giving me money, but it was the best thing you did for me. I never knew I was capable of taking care of myself because I never had to. That's when I realized all those years I thought I was being a good Didi, I was actually keeping her weak. In our culture, we have this beautiful concept of Atmanirbhar, self-reliance. But how can people become self-reliant if we never let them try? So here's my challenge for you, especially my Indian sisters who've been raised to be the family problem solvers. Look at your life right now. Who are you rescuing? What problems are you solving that are not yours to solve? You are not responsible for fixing everyone else's life just because you are the responsible one. You are not a bad daughter or a sister for having boundaries. You are not selfish for securing your own future first. And to every woman or a person who has been the family ATM, the go-to problem solver, the one everyone calls in crisis, your energy is sacred. Your hard-earned money is precious. Stop giving them away to people who won't do the work to change. The most loving thing you can do sometimes is to love people enough to let them become strong. What's one boundary that you're going to set up with your family this week? And remember, you can still be a loving family member while helping in ways that actually help. If this resonated with you, if you've been caught in these cycles of giving until it hurts, share this with other person who needs to hear it. Because conscious help does not just free the receiver, it frees the giver too. Namaste. And remember, helping with awareness is seva. Helping without awareness is just enabling. Choose wisely.